Hi everybody, Tom Wiseman here from Cycling Solutions. To follow up on our pre-fit interview, we start an assessment, and the assessment really covers a number of things. First, I'm looking, of course, at the size and shape of your feet. I'm looking to see what your feet do, whether they're weighted or unweighted. So we're taking measurements with a Brannock device and looking at what the foot does under load and seeing if the foot is a driver for something that might be going on farther up the kinetic chain. If it is, then it's something that we need to address through the course of the fitting. We may be doing that through some type of wedge or cleat adjustment, whether that be on the bottom of the shoe with a cleat wedge or inside of the shoe with a 4-foot wedge. Sometimes we're adjusting for leg length, so we have leg length shims that we can address those type of issues with. I'm also looking at things like what the arch of their insole looks like, what the shape and the wear of their insole looks like. I'm looking to see how their foot sits on the inside of their shoe. I'm also looking at things like the bottom of their cleat and the interface with the pedal between the cleat and the pedal itself. I'm looking to make sure that interface from shoe to pedal is nice and even and it's not lopsided or tilted to one side. These are all things that I'm looking at through the assessment of their shoes and their pedals. In addition to those type of things, I'm also doing a bunch of body assessment things. I'm looking at range of motion and flexibility, primarily looking at the hip joint. So I'm looking at hamstrings, quadriceps, hip flexors, glute. I'm looking at these muscles to see if there's a significant asymmetry and flexibility between left and right or front and back of the body in order to see if there's something that drives what a person does on their bike. So these are things that I have to do in the assessment process in order to establish what a person's body can and cannot do. So there's things on the bike and off of the bike, whether it be interaction with the foot pedal interface, way their handlebars look, the wear on their saddle, complaints and things like that they talk about during the course of the assessment. These are all things that are very important and they all get recorded. In addition to the pre-fit interview, the assessment all gets recorded and saved for the client so that they can have that information for later on. After we get the assessment pretty well established and I've got a pretty good idea of what they do off of the bike, then we actually start the bike fitting itself. And we get them on the bike, and that's when we start making changes to them in the course of the bike fit itself.